Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. Now available on Lulu, John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at lulu.com today. One of my viewers wanted me to make a rant video about the HBO Max series Velma. Now, the Velma series is an adaptation of Hanna-Barbera's iconic 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s Scooby-Doo cartoons, and this adaptation is one that upset a lot of people in fandom because this adaptation completely deviates from the source material and is one that it has no elements of the source material outside of the name of the lead character and two of the other characters in the Scooby Gang. Nothing in the Velma series resembles anything that came from the Scooby-Doo cartoons that it's supposed to be derived from, and this derivative is so not like the source material that it just doesn't capture the spirit of any of the original incantations of Scooby-Doo or the other later versions of the story of Scooby-Doo. So a lot of fans in fandom were upset about this show because this show was basically one that is designed to be a fan fiction vehicle for actress and comedian Mindy Kaling, who is now presenting the character of Velma as an East Indian and now presenting the character basically as an avatar so that she can participate in a fan fiction series that makes her a Mary Sue that is a part of the Scooby Gang. Now, this whole version of Velma is a completely, again, different version, and this version basically race swaps Daphne and Shaggy, changing their characters completely from who they originally were. Daphne, who was known as Danger Prone, Daphne, who stumbled into danger as a white redheaded girl, is now an Asian woman, and Norval, a black boy who likes to smoke weed, is now replacing Shaggy. Now, I find it interesting that the black character is shown as a weed head, and again, this is passive-aggressive representation. Passively, they are representing Shaggy as black, but aggressively they're participating in anti-black racism by showing Shaggy as somebody associated with drugs. But that's par for the course when it comes down to these social justice style adaptations, and this social justice adaptation rounds out the Scooby Gang with a bumbling, stumbling, stupid white male Fred, and the story for Velma is just as stupid as Fred actually it is presented in this show. Now, the writing on this show has been critically panned and has been cooked and roasted by many on YouTube, and many people on YouTube see this show as the hot garbage it actually is. Now, from what I have seen from many reviewers out here, they say that the writing makes absolutely no sense, and they say that the storytelling is hot garbage, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't even try to even go review this show, and I told my viewers that if they wanted me to review this show, they needed to pay me for the HBO Max. However, this viewer wanted a rant, and I'm going to take a minute to go on a rant. But the rant is not going to just be about Velma. It's going to be about the dysfunctional state of fandom. Now, when it comes to fandom out here, a lot of these people, they will sit there and complain about a show like Velma, not understanding that the more you complain, the more you just are wasting your time. And again, time is something that is precious because time is something you can't get back. And I know a lot of people are fans of these characters, but there comes a time when you just have to walk away. Because the greatest power you can have is walking away. And I went in depth on this in one of my live streams. I talked about how you have a greater power in walking away because your silence has a greater impact on people by just walking away and being silent. Because the message you're sending to these businesses is that you are going to take your respect by taking your dollars away. Because when you take your dollars away, you are taking your power. So making a dozen YouTube rants while you watch the show and spend your money on HBO Max, that's not taking respect. No, that's allowing yourself to be disrespected because you're not only, one, spending your money, you are also wasting your time because you just spent $14 on HBO Max to spend 8 hours watching a show you just don't like, a show that you know is badly written, a show that you know is hot garbage, and some people call it hate watching, but I hate to waste my time, and that's why I'm not even going to bother watching this Velma show, because my time is too precious to waste watching poor quality material. No, Warner Brothers wants to go out here and make these ridiculous adaptations of their characters. They can go right ahead, but I'm not going to waste my money or my time even dealing with those types of adaptations, because what these individuals want to do is show how little self-confidence they have, because they don't have the self-esteem or the self-worth to go out here and make a quality adaptation, and they don't believe in themselves. So what they do is try to pander and scavenge for attention by making shows like Velma in order to get the fandom riled up and attach an emotional hose to them. And as they attach that emotional hose to them, what they do is try to foster a codependent relationship between fandom and themselves to generate controversy. And this is something that has been done with comics for many years, where sites like Comic Book Resources and Bleeding Cool write these articles that are clickbait to generate controversy. Unfortunately, that controversy that is fostered all over social media doesn't really generate sales, but you'll hear a lot of chatter about all of these different characters who are coming out of the closet or dealing with some sort of death, but it doesn't make people care about their comics, and it doesn't make me care enough about Velma to go out here and spend my money or my time dealing with HBO Max. I don't have the money or the time that I want to waste on this show, and that's part of my rant, because I don't want to waste my time dealing with stuff that's garbage. If it's garbage, I've got other things to do. I mean, I've got a full schedule of projects for the SJS Direct 2024 catalog, and I've also got books on the 2023 catalog that people aren't picking up. So I'm focusing on trying to get more people picking up the good stuff on the SJS Direct 2023 catalog and the 2024 catalog that's upcoming, than wasting my time complaining about characters that are owned by a corporate media oligarchy that are just IPs to those executives. And in the case of these executives, these IPs are just something that they're going to mine. And with the failure of Velma, I guarantee you there will be another Scooby-Doo adaptation, and you'll be hearing many in fandom possibly complaining about that one. And again, not worth my time. Now, my big beef with many in fandom is the hypocrisy that they participate in, because the critical question I would like to ask many in fandom: are you going to go see The Flash in June? Now, The Flash is the movie that stars Ezra Miller, a just degenerate individual who has allegedly participated in numerous acts of violence towards women and is alleged to have participated in grooming a child. And this individual basically has participated in allegedly reprehensible and allegedly criminal behavior. But many of those in fandom who complain about how much of an SJW show Velma is, many of those same individuals will try to find some excuse to go out here and go see The Flash in June. And that is the hypocrisy of those in fandom. That is the hypocrisy that I see as related to many of these individuals, many of these same individuals who will talk about how the Velma show is SJW, how the Velma show is so woke, the Velma show is just so bad. Many of these people will try to find a way to give a pass to Warner Brothers to go see that Flash movie, because they will go out here and value social currency more than their integrity. And that's where I see that much of fandom is completely full of it. Because you sit there and you say, oh, this Velma show is terrible, but you're still trying to find a way to go spend your money with the same company that owns Velma. Again, you will spend $15 on HBO Max to watch a show you don't like, and then you're going to spend another $15 to $20 to $35 to go see a Flash movie with an actor that you say you don't like. And you're going to do this because you get caught up in your nostalgia for Michael Keaton and the 1989 Batman. And again, shows me how completely full of it many in fandom are as related to trying to go out here and get the change that they say that they want as related to their entertainment. Because I myself, as a publisher of entertainment on the SJS Direct imprint, I hear many of these people constantly complaining about shows like Velma. However, when I go out here, and I was out here looking to put together the first ISIS graphic novel featuring a positive image of a black heroine, most of those people didn't show up to put in a pledge for that book. Most of those people who said that they were a part of Comicsgate and wanted change didn't show up. And just in 2022, when I came out with John Haynes at Death's Door and put up the Kickstarter, many of those same individuals didn't even go out here to put in a pledge. I didn't see any Comicsgate guys going out here putting in heavy pledges or giving me heavy support as related to getting John Haynes at Death's Door funded. No, most of the funding I got for John Haynes at Death's Door primarily came from mostly people who were a part of the black grassroots of new black media, and I appreciate all of those people for going out here and giving me support. I mean, there were a couple of white and non-black buyers who did go out here and buy John Haynes at Death's Door, but the core base that I had was mostly people who were a part of the black grassroots, and a few people who were foreign, a few people who were white, again, but most of those people who said that they were a part of Comicsgate and say that they want to say that they're about this so-called non-SJW content, which is, they say that they want, I never have seen many of these people show up at the SJS Direct imprint. I don't see them on my Amazon sales. I don't see these people buying anything, but these people will sit there and complain about a mainstream product and then want me to go out here and complain about the mainstream product. Well, that's not a solution as related to things. No, if you are tired of the content that you're seeing on places like HBO Max, and you believe that it is so-called SJW or what you call woke, then your option is simple. Stop spending money on these shows, stop spending money on this content, and make a sacrifice for what you believe in. Because if you are serious about your so-called cause of fighting against social justice content, then I wonder how many of you are going to stay home in June when The Flash comes out, because that's a real testament to the integrity of those in places like Comicsgate, those in fandom. That's going to be a testament to how consistent you are as related to your character, because you sit there and say, oh, I hate this Velma show, but I'm gonna be first in line to go get that Flash movie ticket, and that again just shows me how full of it many people are. And again, this is a man who was a teenager back in 1989. I was 15 years old when Batman 89 came out. I was a big fan of the Tim Burton movie. I was a big fan of Michael Keaton's Batman, and that movie was a major part of my childhood. But I'm not going to go see The Flash, plain and simple, because of Ezra Miller, 1. 2, I'm not going to see it because of the ethics of the storyline, where you have Barry Allen going back in time to go save his mother, which is just completely unethical and not heroic at all. And 3, I'm not going to see it because, again, this movie does not fit the values that I want to see in superheroes. So I'm not going to go see a Flash movie for the same reason I won't go watch Velma. Again, both of these shows and this movie do not reflect the values I want to see in my entertainment. I do not like to see these shows that deviate from the source material. I do not want to see stories where the characters' ethics are compromised. So I have no interest in watching a Velma for the same reason I would not go see The Flash. And again, it's all related to my integrity, because when I look at The Flash, I see all of the ethical compromises I saw happen in Avengers Endgame, where the heroes were not acting heroic. And I'm not going to pay to support heroes who are actually villains, and I'm not going to sit here and complain about this media. No, I'm going to vote with my wallet, and I'm also going to vote by going out here and spending my time producing my own content that many of those in fandom who say they want so-called non-woke material won't go out here and support. Many of these same people, they will sit there and pass by me again and sit there and give guys like Eric July $3 million because he took a picture with Kyle Rittenhouse. And again, many of these same people, they'll sit there and complain, oh, we want this non-woke material. We want material with no identity politics. We want no social justice. Well, I'm a craftsperson who has been working for over 25 years, knows how to put together stories with the back of my hand, knows how to craft a solid story, but I don't see none of these people showing up to SJS Direct to go pick up some quality storytelling. No, I don't see it, and I'm out here putting in the work. So when I see people sitting up here complaining, oh, the show is so bad because it deviates from the source material, again, your choice is to just not watch that material. Your choice is to go out here and keep your money in your pocket. Your choice is to walk away from it. And that's what I did. Now, I said that if you wanted me to do a review of the show, you should pay me for the subscription to HBO Max. But at this point, I'm not even interested in giving money to Max, which is what HBO Max calls itself, because I understand the value of my time, and I'm not going to waste my time watching 8 hours of crap and complaining about the crap. Because if I watch the 8 hours of crap and I pay money to watch the 8 hours of crap, then I get what I pay for. And again, money and time are precious resources, and I'm not going to waste money or time complaining about a garbage show. No, what I'm going to do is again leave that show on the server and leave Max alone, because if there's nothing on Max for me to watch, then I'm not going to waste my time watching garbage, because my life is too precious to watch entertainment that isn't entertaining. No, I can go out here and focus on other more constructive things, like going out here and picking up other creators' projects that are great, like those on Concrete Comics or many of the other independent publishers. I can go out here and support those publishers and help them get their stories out there. And I can also go out here and put fingers to the keyboard for my own books on the SJS Direct imprint. That's a more constructive use of my time than complaining about Mindy Kaling's crap Velma show that she's already been paid for, already counting the money on, and Warner Brothers is out here already made the money on this show. I mean, nothing's changing economically for Warner Brothers, so I'm not wasting my time complaining about these kind of crap shows. No, if you want to really go out here and get some change, you should be putting down some money on some SJS Direct books and helping a small independent publisher go out here and build their business, because all those people who complain about, oh, this show is so bad, again, where's your money on SJS Direct? You got money for the Comicsgate books because you can get social currency with them, but you don't have money for SJS Direct. I mean, last year again, I came out here with John Haynes at Death's Door, ran a campaign for 30 days, came out here, posted multiple videos, posted multiple live streams, came on the air of Dr. T. Hassan Johnson's show, and came out and promoted heavily. But I didn't see any support from those who were a part of Fandom or Comicsgate that much. I didn't even see anything from Comicsgate at all. And again, these people, again, say they want so-called non-woke material, but they don't. I don't see any of those people showing up to drop the support as related to my content. Again, that shows me they're not serious about change, and we're all going to see what hypocrites they all are when that Flash movie drops, because it seems like many of those people who complain about so-called SJW content, when it's content that they like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or any of the movies like The Flash, these guys are the first in line with a movie ticket. They sit there and say, oh, everything is so bad at these companies, but you're still spending money on this content, not understanding that if you want change, you have to change the way you go out here and do business, because this is a business, and businesses only produce what makes money. And if you want more of a certain content, you go out here and you keep spending money on it, which shows me the logical fallacy as related to many of those in fandom. Many of those in fandom, they'll sit there and complain about Velma, but you'll see them in line with that ticket to The Flash, and they'll make the excuse, oh, this is our last chance to see Michael Keaton. Well, this is the last chance that I see you not respecting yourself. And this is why many of these people, while they complain about woke and get all of these views on YouTube, really don't have an impact on the real world. Because if they really wanted to have an impact on the real world, like people are having with Bud Light and Target, they would, again, show their economic power and go out here and not support the content that they're constantly complaining about. Well, that's the end of my rant that the viewer requested in this video about Velma, and I'm hoping that this rant is satisfying to them, because I get fed up making these kinds of videos about this garbage content like Velma, because the way you stop companies from making garbage like Velma is the same way that I dealt with shows that had declining quality, like Drew Carey and Xena Warrior Princess. I simply stopped watching them. And the way you deal with these companies is by going out here and not spending your money and your time complaining about them. You just find something else better to go out here and watch. And if you want an alternative to the so-called SJW shows that many people complain about and the SJW comics people complain about, you can pick up my comic John Haynes at Death's Door on Lulu right now. And you can also pick up my first comic, E-Steam No Good Deed, on Kindle for 99 cents. And you can pick up the books of the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, my sorority novel, The Thetas, my vampire novel, Eternal Night, and my romance novel, A Recipe for Success. You can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s in this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Get your copy of John Haynes, 1987 in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.